Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mike. I rarely get in front of the camera. I'm not that good at it, but I've decided to do a review for you all. Recently, about a month and a half, almost 2 months now, bought a new bike called a Bruzer. It's made by Priority, and it's a hardtail. It's got a pinion gearbox with a Gates belt drive. So I've tried to make this review probably about 3 times now, and every time I seem to forget things that I want to say, so please forgive me, but I'm going to be looking at my phone for notes so I can try to remember to cover everything that I want to say. So yeah, I got the bike. I had ordered it late July, got it August 1st, and it came in a box. Obviously, assembly was pretty easy, probably 45 minutes to an hour for the assembly of it. So kind of backing up a little bit, I've been looking at the pinion gearbox system with the Gates belt drive for a little while. In my 15 to 20 years of mountain biking, I have become frustrated at times, disappointed in traditional gear, cassette chain type drivetrains. Cannot tell you how many times, in the middle, out of nowhere, and had issues with the chain or bent the derailleur hanger or what have you. Chain comes falling off. So many things that I do not like about the system. Anyway, so when I saw this on YouTube, I was curious. So started looking at it a little bit more, and decided to go ahead and give it a try. So Priority offers several different models with the Priority system. Ranges from gravel road bikes to commuters to adventure bikes. And so in the adventure category, there's 3 bikes. They have the 600 ADX, which I think is around $3,500. The HXT is the step up from that, and that is about $4,000. Both of those have front forks that come standard on them. The model that I chose had just come out and was released 1st of August, and it's more designed, it's an adventure bike, designed, I think, more for, forgive me, I got mosquitoes out here, designed more, I think, for bike packers, and I'm sure it's really great for that. It's got lots of braze-ons, for different packing type situations. So that's kind of, I think, what it's designed for. For me, I liked the price of it, which was only $2,500. I don't know, I'm sorry, $2,300. So for a hardtail, I have a hard time spending $4,000 on a hardtail. I have 2 other full suspension bikes, which I love. Priority does not make a full suspension bike, and the ones that do, there are not very many of them, and most of them are in Europe that do, and they are very expensive, like 8 to 10 grand for a full suspension with the pinion system. Personally, I don't have that kind of money, but I did want to try the system because I was excited about it. So anyway, that was what led me to it. So I'm just going to kind of go through the pros and cons. I mean, you can look on the Pinion system, or the website rather, also the priority system, to kind of get more details about it. I'm just going to kind of give you an overview of the pros and cons that I've researched. So the pros: very low maintenance, doesn't have a chain. You don't have to worry about lubing the chain ever. It's a dry belt system, and from what I've read, the average belt lasts for 15 to 20,000 miles. That's a lot of miles. Compare that to a chain, which and cassette gears, you're always replacing probably at least one or 2 years. Most, if you ride a lot, it's even less than that. The gearbox itself can last, they say, from what I've read, up to 62,000 miles before it needs an overhaul, factory overhaul. The only thing you really have to do as far as maintenance goes is change the oil in the gearbox once a year. That's it. And that looks pretty easy. Haven't done it yet, but it looks super easy. Obviously, the advantages of not having to oil your chain, there's no mess. You take the back wheel off, you don't get grease all over you, and which, by the way, is super easy. You pull the axle bolt out and the wheel comes right off, like super easy. I think I might have a video on that. I'll try to remember to put that in. Also going to put in probably in the notes the modifications I've done, but I'll get to that in a minute. So other advantages: it's quiet. The drivetrain, you don't hear that chain noise. You don't hear clunking when you're trying to go up a hill and trying to get into that next gear. So gear shifting, on that subject, so they offer two. The lower end, like the Bruzer, has a grip shifter, which is not my favorite. Obviously, I would prefer a trigger shifter like most mountain bikes. They do in the higher models. The HXT, I believe, comes with a smart shifter, which is an electronic shift for the gearbox, which would be really nice. Like I say, I'm not crazy about grip shifter, but it works very well. So other advantages. So this is a plus and minus. The weight is distributed more in the center, lower, I think. Well, at least in the center, compared to a cassette, which is all in the back wheel. So you have that unsprung weight comes into play. The weight of the gears. So just a side note, like this bike is probably about the same weight as my Specialized Stump Jumper full suspension. It's definitely heavier than my Epic, my cross-country carbon. But I was surprised. I didn't really notice the weight that much, and maybe that's because it's more in the center versus the rear. Not sure. But it doesn't feel that heavy to me. So the gearbox is obviously enclosed. It's waterproof. You can run through puddles, water, streams, whatever you want to, and it's not going to affect the gearbox at all. You can even ride it in the winter, and I've heard and read that it's a great bike for winter as well. So those are some of the advantages. Let's see if I'll make sure I haven't missed anything. Let's see. So in looking at this bike, like I said, I didn't really want to spend a whole lot of money. This model is, like I say, is more geared, looks like more for bike packers, but it has hardtail geometry. The HXT is more geared towards strictly trail. It's got geometry that's more slack, like a modern hardtail. But the Bruzer comes with a rigid front fork, which I knew I wasn't going to be crazy about, but I did some research and found out that you can put a fork, suspension fork on the front. It's a tapered stem. So that was my plan going into it, because by luck I had a excuse me, front fork that was a RockShox Reba from my Epic, which I had upgraded to a better shock. Anyway, so I knew I was going to be putting that on. I did take it for a ride when I first got it with the rigid, and I knew I was going to be switching it anyway. So anyway, it's much more capable in trails now as a trail mountain bike. With the front fork on there, it makes a world of difference if that's your goal and plan, like it was for me. Now, if you're going to be using it for bike packing, then a rigid fork might be just as good. In fact, the rigid fork has some brazons that would be helpful in a bike packing situation. You know, you put all kinds of different things on it. So yeah, that was my purpose in buying it, was to have a hardtail mountain bike, and it has done very well at that. I'm very happy with it. Okay, so what else do I need to talk about? So I've been asked, you know, why did I choose the Bruzer? Price was the main consideration. I didn't want to jump into this pinion drive, you know, and not like it. So I figured, well, at least I'll spend a little less money on it. So the upgrades were, like I said, the RockShox fork. That's 120 mil air shock, very capable. Makes a big difference, like I said. Also put some new pedals on it. Some race face Chester pedals. The stock ones, they're so-so, but definitely not good for serious trail riding. Upgraded the tires. Comes with Kenda. They were okay, but I'm a big fan of Vittoria Mezcal. I have 2.6 inch. They're cross-country tires, which I love. Put some Ergon pedal grips. They are designed specifically for the grip shifter. Also put a new handlebar on it, the P&W cross-country bars. The stock bars are just odd. That's all I can say. They have a real weird back sweep. And the rise part was fine, but the back sweep was just odd. So I went ahead and put some different bars on there, which are way better. Let's see, what else have I done to it? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, new seat. The seat was okay, but I have a personal preference for seats. So